Okay. We'll go to the first item is future playground area review, which is a carryover from the June 25th meeting, which was the last meeting we had due to people's vacation schedules and so forth. And my guess is that's why you're here.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to ask your questions, or do you want to hear? Why don't you ask your questions, because they might be smaller than my explanation.
Okay. What is the plan for a playground on the Street?
So we'll get right to what we're going to do. All right. If you'd like to come down, then I can show you what we're doing. And I'm sorry. My name's Don House.
Chris Gurley.
Allison Balco.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Rob Jackson.
Hi. Nice to meet
John
you.
Waswell.
Nice to meet you.
Don, nice to meet you.
This is Mellon Street right here. Okay. This is the property line. This is, what's the name of that street? Goes between Mellon and the field.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
That,
the little
one that
short
goes up
dead
to the farm thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, these houses are off of Howard. Howard Street is way over here.
Yeah.
Just so you have a reference, and 140 is here. We had the property surveyed so that we know the property line is all inside of the existing fence that's on that property line. That was donated by A.S. Elliott so that we would know where we were. Okay. This is the playground / parking project. This is over here, off this drawing, is Mellon Street. This is South Main Street. These are those properties that I just spoke about over there. This is the gate with the chain that allows you to get into the field for emergency access, well, any field access. And the other, this is the dugout, the porta johns are located in this approximate area here. Currently, before we started anything, the driveway came down here. There was a little fenced area, playground was going to be put there. That was deemed to be an unsafe area because this is the most flow of traffic goes this way. So over the course of well over a year, we've been toying with different ideas. There was a playground. Were you there when the playground was standing?
I live right here.
Okay. So previous boards met without cameras. They were off camera. They had a meeting. They decided they cut all their equipment down. So it was public, but no one knew that it was happening, and it was cut up and thrown away. That's when I started having an interest in what the Park Commission was doing. So that's how I got involved in the thing in the first place, because of actions like that. So I went, anyways, got on the board a couple of years later. So that fence was put up in knee-jerk reaction to, they had $1,800 left. They had that fence put up because they were going to put the playground there. They had $1,800 left, but it wasn't a well-thought-out plan. And we took it down because we were losing. We couldn't put the playground in there. We didn't want to put the playground in there, and we were losing parking due to the fence. So we took that down early spring. We have shy of $12,000, $11,877 odd dollars worth of playground equipment that was bought, purchased, delivered December, New Year's Eve, 2014. Sits in a box in Harmony, unused. I consider that relatively sinful. So I have been on to make a plan to do something with it. One of the plans, this would be the adjacent property, and that's the hill. Here's this little piece into the thing. One of the plans, we were going to cut a little hole in at parking lot level and put the playground in here, so into a protected thing. Then that was decided in particular at our June 25th meeting on site, the Saturday. And that's why it's the only meeting we've had off camera, and that's why we had to have it there to look at the thing, the three of us with it. We thought it would be better if we turned it sideways and we put it up against the bank of the hill and we'd only cut halfway in, so it would terrace, and it would be above the cars for the most part, so that you would have fairly good visibility of your kids from there. And we're going to put a berm on one side of it to protect cars from potentially driving into the playground alley-oop style.
Okay.
We started that, and I've been working with a man from G&U Railroad and G&U Logistics who was going to donate the equipment. He was having a hard time getting their company's equipment dedicated to this project because it's a good economy, no matter what anybody says, and they have things ongoing. He finally said, I've got something, I'm going to actually pay a guy, it's part of something he's doing, he's going to still donate it, he's going to get out. So we started digging this area. They called me down there a day, halfway into the day, first day. We've got a plan. We'd like you to listen to it. So it's more of a plan than the original plan, but it's a zero cost to the town. We have not spent $1 or will spend $1. What will happen, this is the existing fence, again, Porta Johns is approximately here, where you have parking. We had this, we had a driveway, or what they call it, a roadway, one row of parking, this shows two, and so it ended, give or take, here, about even with the adjacent neighbors. So, what they came to us with, if they were allowed to take the gravel out, sandy gravel, which we have no use for, and what we were going to do in that area that was terraced is have 3 men and 3 trucks for 2 to 3 days, haul it to the back of that lot, stockpile it, but we don't have a purpose for it. So it's going to cost us money for that. They came up with this plan. Because they had originally tried to swing this little deal, but we'll take that and we'll do it for just that small thing. And I said, that's not worth it. We're not getting enough. It's a lot of work. We'll just do what we're doing. Then they came back with this plan. They're going to give us 5 rows of parking where we had 3. So you won't have, theoretically, you won't have any cars parked along the street when any tournaments, etc. go by, which I'm sure that becomes a big issue.
Yep, right up from the lawn.
Yeah.
Plus the other thing I want to add too, because I've been around
Interject
for
anyway.
quite a while. Even within that driveway itself, you have cars parking on either side of the driveway.
Yes.
And as people try to get in and out,
It's very
It's-
tricky.
yes.
Yeah,
So
it's
there,
hard.
and, there's no parking signs, during the tournaments, but it's still an issue.
Right.
And for as long as I can remember, it's been an issue.
It's
And
been
it's
an
such a
issue.
narrow street, like you have
Yes.
people who like are all jumped up and you're trying to like back out of the driveway and not crash into people who are parked like right behind your car.
So what one of the other things was, when they pulled the equipment out, because I raised my model, they were originally going to take the playground equipment out and make a parking lot up there
Right.
Yes.
and turn the piece of the parking lot into a playground. Never made sense to me. So this is why I wanted to cut into what was the playground at one time to put the playground in. So this plan, now, at approximate value of $1,000, the person that volunteered to work on the other side told me it would be approximately $1,000 to lay out, not to paint, but to lay out the parking spaces and line them so that we would have better utility of parking over the course of time, and therefore we'd get more cars in, as opposed to if you've driven down there when there's people parking, it's
a mess.
they get anywhere near the area and the car runs out of gas, they just drop it somehow. I don't know how. But so with spaces, they would park in the right space. That was near $1,000 to have the layout created, and then we still have to paint it. So I bring that up because this is the plan they presented. They would come in and take the gravel away. They're going to bring the same reground material that is the parking lot material. They're going to bring and spread that in the proper level / water slant. It is considered a permeable material because it's not tar. The water does sink in, but just like dirt, it'll run off in a heavy rain, but it basically settles in. So they're going to create parking, roadway, 2 rows of parking, roadway, 2 rows of parking, no parking against that terraced hill of the playground. So there'll be no cars that kids will ever be able to come through, no matter what fence or anything we put there. There'll be no cars there, no parking there.
Okay.
Okay? This area here, which has the gate, will have heavily posted, no parking, emergency access to the field, and I've asked the police chief, and he's already told me he will give us his backup and come down and ticket and get cars out of there so we have access to the field. We also have the other one, but you don't want to block either one in the event of an emergency.
Right.
And with the fans, you might want, you want to be in both every areas open. Along this area, we're going to create additional 7 to 10 parking spaces up against the edge. Same thing, it's going to be, the bad material is going to be pulled out and the real ground is going to be put there. And we're going to create an additional 2 handicap spots down here, so that the handicap will be towards the, if you will, the east fields, the lacrosse and the soccer. And we're going to have handicap spaces over here for the softball, that side of the field.
Okay.
And we're going to bring the number of handicap parking spaces up to where it's the appropriate legal qualification +1. Then again, back to this, we're going to terrace this. The pole is in the wrong location here. I would call this approximately the pole at the red spot here. Then there's going to be a berm, just like I said. And a berm is a mound of dirt. The railroad uses them on the edge of his property here. His are 6-some feet high, and they're big and ugly and massive. This is going to be approximately 5 foot on its base, 3 or so feet tall, and sharp as the edges can be, so that a car will not be able to drive into it and up over into the playground terrace. And in the front of it, we will be putting the chain link that we took down here along the front edge of the playground, so that the kids don't run down the hill into the roadway. And they will have a kind of a cattle gate or something like that, where it slows them down so that they all enter and leave, somewhat organized.
So fully fenced.
Well, you'll have the wall on the backside, and there'll be some type of fence going the whole distance. They won't be able to, if depending on what happens and so forth, this is approximately 150 to 160-ish feet from property line to edge, and exactly what happens with the slope determines on what we need. We need about 80 feet. If the team seems to be enough to put a parking space, and depending on the end topography of the road, we may not put a couple of handicap spots there, but we will have barrier blocks. A lot of people call them mafia blocks, the big concrete blocks, and we cannot drive. It will be not a chain link fence, it will be barrier blocks, so you cannot drive in there to the kids. Then on this side, where we have the handicap spaces here, there's going to be, because this level is going to be approximately the same level as over here. Right now it goes up even walking across this parking lot. It'll be approximately flat, and somewhere here up against that slope is going to be called a ramp, because it's not going to be flat. It's going to lead to the playground, but it is going to be so flat it's not a handicap ramp. It does not need railings and so forth like that. It'll be a flat walkway, which is what's called 1 in 20 pitch. So that'll be up there, so the handicap can park here and access the playground through that, even with a wheelchair.
Okay.
I started to say, we need about 80 feet for the playground equipment that we have, and if we have that extra, we are not going to lean towards parking. We're going to lean towards a certain expansion of the playground, because we would like to add, as money and donations come in, we'd like to add some handicap accessible playground equipment down the road. Questions?
That covers everything I
yeah,
wanted to know.
Me too.
Very.
I've been down there and it looks scary the way they're digging it up, but they're trying to get the right base down too, because you know, for drainage, and then you have to have
Yeah.
it, you know, if the kids fall off, they
Yeah.
bounce.
More than once in the last couple of weeks, I wished I was like 8 again.
Yeah.
Go
Oh, for the dirt park.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised it's not full of bike tracks from the,
From all the kids.
you know, what do they call it? Vietnam and Milford, the bike trails. You know?
Yep.
So this is the company supplied drawing of the playground. So this will be the swing set. This isn't going to be in this configuration. This will be this way, and then this will be on the end of it. Will be, or maybe this will be this way, and this will be sideways. We have an installer who is certified, knowledgeable person with an auger, and he's going to do that. That's one of the reasons we also took more material out than the eye would say you need to, because he has to drill with an auger like they put a telephone pole in,
Okay.
to put the concrete in. You see some of the rocks there?
Yeah.
Okay? The rocks is half the size of this table. If you hit that, we either have to dig that rock up in, or move the whole equation out, and who knows what the other, every spot is a hole. Every, I had it handy, I thought I did, a footing drawing, and it's an incredible, this is a little bit larger, every spot is a hole. So there's 6 holes just for the swing set. That will be 2 average adult-sized swings and 2 bucket-type kid swings
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
Again, all this is purchased, sitting in a box, and
Which is a
it's
shame.
burning a hole in
Yeah.
my pocket, so to speak.
Okay. Now this is good. I know personally my fear was that this would be parking,
Oh,
and
oh.
I would be looking out onto this paved paradise, and I would be very upset.
I think I have something that you're going to like the best, which I haven't covered yet.
Okay.
Everything from this berm at this side of the parking lot to the street is going to be leveled, and it's going to look like a front lawn at some point in time. Whereas it was all hilly and valley, and it was difficult to drive cars on when they needed it as access parking, excess parking. It's going to be flat and level grass. Everything will be, once the topsoil and everything is done, it's going to be hydro-seeded when the weather's appropriate, and it's obviously not now.
Right.
So, whatever happens. But at some point in time, that is going to have the appearance of a level, flat, playing field lawn, which the kids can use for drills, meaning they can put a soccer goal up there and just have one person on goal, or a group on goal as a drill, kind of take some wear and tear off of down in the real field. Or, because it's flat and at the same level as the driveway, it will be good emergency parking, or excess parking when they have the tournaments. And we're going to gain approximately 40 spots from what we had. And I don't think we got 40 cars in the field properly, did we? When it was run over? I don't know. Does anybody?
It's a mess. It's a mess.
When it was a field, because it was,
Yeah.
again, when they pulled the concrete around the poles out of the old play gym, pulled it up, went away. And it's the way it was left.
Okay. All right. Well, this is good. I'm
I'm pretty happy.
I'm happy about it.
You got questions?
No, I don't think so. I think that covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it very
I
much.
very
Thank
much
you.
appreciate you taking the time to go through that
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah, because it does look scary when you look out every day. I'm like, oh my God, is there a
Even
piece of
when I
equipment
went
out
down
there?
I was thinking, okay, what's going on here? And I know what's going on.
My kids are like,
I wasn't expecting it. Yeah.
oh my God, I don't know.
But I agree with you. I wish I was a kid again, because I know I'd be hanging out.
You know how any demolition project is. It has to look worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
And I want to reiterate, this is costing us nothing. Not the $1,000. Oh, I don't know if I covered that. This is going to be painted, the parking lot lines are going to be painted the first time by the contractor taking the ground.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So, even though it's paint on reground asphalt, it won't have a great longevity like a regular parking lot.
Right.
But we own paint machines for our crosswalks and so forth, and that will be on our list of spring chores before they fade away, is to go over.
And the reground asphalt is the stuff that's on Harmony, right?
There's another bonus. okay?
Huge piles of it.
Oh,
It's not being used. So we're using.
The original intent was not to do the front yard, I call it. But again, what would you rather look at? The way it was
Yep.
4 weeks ago, or the way I just described it? That wasn't in his original scope of things. He was going to bring the asphalt in, the reground, and I said, we have a monstrous pile, and we'd like to use it because that's why we save it. And it's sitting on park property, and it's better environmentally if it rolls through, it doesn't store forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's win-win. I don't really have any negative other than where it is. We do have taken it on the chin for a couple of things because this is just kind of snowballed. I'll take that. I hope the board will take that because it's getting it done. We've had this playground sitting there for 2 years. We came up with such a plan and such a thing for the town for no money, not the $1,000, not the 3 men in the trucks, the fuel, the trucks, and the project's not done. Nothing out of the town coffers. And we will end up with, I think, taking that field from where it was into another level. Just while we're here, we're going to dance on the other side of the field. We'll have a scoreboard, electronic. It's going to be powered through the concession stand, a wireless controller that the Hopefield Girls Softball Association has spearheaded the fundraising drive for. It's going, if you were to get down there and look, opposite the Porta-Johns, you're going to see a white sign, a clearing in the trees, and it's going to go in that approximate location.
I saw where you cleared trees out of there. I was wondering what that was for.
That's what it's for, because that's going to be the optimum place. The softball will be able to see it a bit. Lacrosse soccer will be able to see it. They've ordered 2 controllers. One will be for the school for their use, and one will be for their, meaning Hopefield Girls Softball, and that way they both have a backup.
Oh.
Good. Okay.
So we're taking this field to quite a level. And again, the expediency was, once that plan came in, it took a little time. We had to run it by, basically, it's the same plan of excavation times 10. So it's not really a change of plan, it's an addition to the plan. We had to run it through the highway department, get their take on it versus their hours. We had to run it by the town coordinator and get everybody's input on it. And basically, we had no dissension on the board. It wasn't really a discussion. Let's go ahead and do it. So that's the reason for that. Plus the fact that we were hoping, like anything, to be a little further down the road and be done before school. We are 90% done before school. We're not done. And he understands that he has to work around that. And I've been in contact with the new athletic director about where they're going to have to park, and we may switch that in the course of the operation.
So I guess then what is the timeline for it to be all kind of said and done? What's the hope?
I am really hoping by the end of next week that all the serious earth is put in. It looks like a parking lot, but probably in gravel as opposed to the reground material. Then he has to take that machine that's right up against your house. It's called a screen, portable screening plant. He's going to take that to our pile of asphalt, and he'll take the asphalt, and because it sits in a pile, it gets clumpy. He's going to run it through that, fluff it up, it's called. He's going to fluff it up, put it in the machine, get nice pulverized material out the end, and he's going to bring that because that will spread better with the bulldozer and so forth. Then it gets rolled and so forth.
Cool.
So certainly by midweek, it should certainly look like the parking lot and so forth without the gravel, but you should be able to see exactly what you're looking at.
Okay. All right.
That's great.
Good. Yeah.
That's really great.
I'm excited for it.
I am too.
Kids will be happy.
Kids will be happy.
Yes.
I was expecting more trouble.
we don't want to come across trouble. We were just like, oh wow, that just, I don't know what they're doing there. So, and the guys, if you try to talk to them, they just go, we're putting in a playground, and you're like, you know anything else about it?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Well-
nope. I'm like, just help me out.
You know, there's been a couple of, what's the term? There's been a couple of haters out there that said, why are we digging a 15-foot hole in the ground? And I got to tell you, until yesterday, I actually thought that one spot looked, I don't mean the edge, that's where we're burying rocks, which you can bury. You'll also notice, by the way, there was a couple of tires that were unearthed. There was a couple
Yeah.
of pile of steel that was unearthed,
Yeah.
okay? And somebody said, well, don't make sure he doesn't bury it. No one unearths something to put it on the edge to bury it later. If they find it and they don't want it to show, they dig a hole right then and it goes away.
This is
Okay?
already-
So in other words, he's been doing it in the right way. He's pulled those items out. The 3 tires disappeared yesterday, they went. The steel, I have photos of it being loaded into the town truck and dropped into the thing. The wood pile's over there. There's no intention to bury this in, anything and make it an unstable finished product. So, to answer those type of questions. The concrete, you'll see big blocks of concrete out on the edge. It was a foundation of an old building or house that was there at one time.
Oh.
By law, by environmental standards, you cannot bury that with the rock. Even though it is very rock-like to you and I, over 6 inches is considered hazardous or it can't be done. So it can't, unless it was crushed, it can't be put back in the hole. The rocks twice the size of this table can be put in the hole because they're rocks. Concrete can't. That's why the concrete sits up there ready to go someplace else.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, we did see all that stuff piled up on the edge. Okay. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate this very much.
And you can go to the, come in here, find me at any time as the chairman, and feel free to call me
Okay.
if you have comments or concerns, something you don't think looks appropriate.
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would rather you call than complain.
Yeah.
All right. Will do.
Okay?
You call, then complain.
Right.
Well, yeah, but
Order,
I would
right?
rather, I would
Talk
rather you
first.
weren't scuttlebutt complaining
Yeah.
and causing other people to wonder what's going on and so forth. You know, there are, as they say, there are the haters. You know,
Yeah.
and thank you for being there.
Well, thank you for the explanation.
Yeah. I very much
Yep.
appreciated that.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah,
All
thanks.
right.
Have a good night.
You too.